How can, after that many people, you're still bad at sex? Hello everyone, we are going to be looking through Reddit. So this is a conversation between a woman and her boyfriend. He said, "Yeah, I'm just tired and still don't feel great." And she said, "Yeah, I get it. I've been exhausted. Also, would you care if I don't go to the New Year's thing? We've been with your friends every weekend and I really need to spend a weekend studying. Obviously you can still go. I just feel like I'm getting behind from all running around." He said, "What? Everyone else's spouse is going. I'd be the only guy with a partner going alone. Everyone else's wives have literal babies, and they are still making time for it." She said, "I get it, but I'm behind, and if I don't pick it up, I'm going to end up failing, and this is a big exam. And I get that everyone has babies, but they're able to bring their babies and put them down to sleep at some point. I can't bring my studying to the party, you know?" "No, I don't," he says. "Babies are a lot harder than taking an exam, and they're doing it. You can't just put down a baby. You constantly have to take care of them or they die." "I'm not saying that. Taking care of a baby isn't hard. I'm basically working 2 full times right now, and I feel like I just never get a break from it." "You don't get a break with babies either. They cry constantly. You have to feed them, bathe them, make them food, pump milk, and so much more. I really don't know why you're talking about responsibilities of motherhood right now. Because you're acting like you're busier than all these other women that have human lives to take care of." "I just told you, because they are bringing their babies and multitasking, taking care of them while being at the party. So I can't study at the party. Also, most of them don't work, and this is their full-time job. I am working, studying for this exam, running my business, and balance my friends and family and your friends and family as well. In the past month, we've spent every single weekend with your friends, and it's just getting too much for me. I used to spend every single day with them, and I went to school and worked full-time. Every weekend is nothing." "You didn't do that while also spending every weekend with your significant other's friends. It's holiday season. This is what you're supposed to do. Respectfully, you're coming off as extremely selfish right now. So am I the a-hole?" The text chain sums it up. "I'm studying for a professional standardized test. It's really difficult and covers a lot of in-depth topics. As a result, I've been studying for the past 6 months and will be for another 3. That said, my boyfriend always derails my studying, either with elaborated plans with his friends or by asking me to do things for him. Typically, we end doing things on Friday and Saturday, and it takes up the entire day Saturday, and my entire time after work Friday. I've even had to flex my work schedule on Fridays to be at the events on the time, since they start them for no reason at 3 p.m. sometimes. It's at a point I barely have time to talk to him and my friends, let alone do anything with them. A lot of this is for me being busy with work, studying, running a business, but a lot of it is also his demands for me. His friends are having a party for New Year's. Nothing crazy, but nothing I've made any commitments for. Normally I go without complaining, but I'm getting so stressed. All of these events seem like they're super important for me to be there, so I end up going when I should be focusing on myself." What do you think? I definitely don't think she's in the wrong. Comments read, "Not an overreaction. He is manipulative and selfish. He's dismissing your workload, dismissing your exam as unimportant, and expecting you to accommodate his schedule. He's weaponizing motherhood to diminish your legitimate work study/demands. He's the a-hole." Am I the a-hole for telling my ex that she needs to figure it out when it comes to hosting people for her grandmother's funeral, even though I am living in her grandmother's house? Oh, I don't know. My ex and I are getting divorced earlier this year. When we were married, we bought her grandmother's house. This house was built in the 1910s, and I have been in the ex's family since then. It is quite large. When we bought it, we primarily used my premarital savings and inheritance. This was 5-ish years ago. When we got divorced, the court determined that the bulk of the house, 90%, belonged to me according to our post-nup agreement. My ex tried a number of scenarios where she would keep the house, so it would stay, quote-unquote, in the family. The only thing I would agree to is the selling of the house. My ex did not have the money to buy me out. The day after Christmas, my ex's grandmother died. Yesterday afternoon, my cousin shows up at the house with his family. He drove into town for the funeral on Thursday. Apparently, he and his sister texted my ex and said that they would be staying at the quote-unquote house. I called my ex and asked her why she volunteered my house for hosting people. She apologized and said she had been running around getting things done for the funeral. But she asked if I would be willing to host because they really do not have space for everyone without using the house. And I told her no. That they need to get hotels or whatever else arrangements. She said they do not have money to get everyone hotels, and people are struggling financially. that there is plenty of extra room in the house, I told her no. She got quite upset and hung up on me. I told the cousin and his family that they could not stay. One of the comments read, "Sounds like your wife maybe not told her family that the house is not owned by her anymore." I don't know. I feel both sides on this. I feel like they are going through a loss and a heartbreak of losing their grandmother. But I guess he is in the right where, it is his house and he paid for it. I think if my parents are divorced, if it was my family, I think my dad would allow this just because, they just like the understanding of grieving and everything. Just be like, yeah, I don't know. It seems a little weird. Hopefully she can save up the money to buy her house back from the family to keep it in the family. But yeah, that's really crazy. I don't know what to think of that one. Okay, so this one's actually really crazy. I hate my fat autistic twin and she ruined my new dress. Oh my gosh. You know how twins are supposed to be each other's BFF? Well, mine is the bane of my existence. Ban? I wish that I absorbed her in the womb or something because she is and has always been a massive pain in the A. And this Christmas just takes the cake. So I, 28-year-old female, celebrate the holiday with my husband, James, 39-year-old male. My parents, 46-year-old female and 55-year-old male, and my twin, Kim, 28-year-old female. Obviously. She put obviously. My dad bought both me and Kim New Year's evening gowns to wear at the upcoming New Year's Eve party we were all invited to. Mine was ivory with a plunging neckline, halter straps, and a belt slungly wrapped around. Kim's was jet black with a neckline that covered her entire neck, long sleeves, and a hoop skirt. Believe me, I thought both gowns were extremely beautiful, and that Kim and I were extremely blessed to be gifted these. However, as soon as Kim saw mine, she got upset and accused Dad of playing favorites because I clearly, quote-unquote, clearly got the better one. And he forgot about her, quote-unquote, preference for more revealing dresses. My sister's autistic, parentheses, I'm not. So it's understandable why she wouldn't want to be covered up so much. But there was no way my dad was playing favorites when he was always having to cater to her autistic needs. Kim then demanded that we switch dresses. I told her that was ridiculous because we didn't wear the same size. She blew up and accused me of calling her fat. Well, I guess she did in the title. While she kind of is 5'2" and 220 pounds, that wasn't what I was saying. After all, she could have been only one size bigger and still would have said no. Feeling a little concerned for the safety of my gown, I put it back in the box and sat on it for the remainder of the gift opening session. Kim said that this discussion wasn't over. Then James told her to keep her mouth shut and open her new present. Whatever, creep grandpa, she grumbled. James looked as if he wanted to punch her for calling him that, but he was able to restrain himself. I didn't blame him. We had been together for 10 years, and Kim had always been convinced that he was, quote-unquote, controlling PDF file. Her words, not mine. Because of the age difference and the fact that I dropped out of college when we got married so I could be a homemaker, I told her a million times that A, I was a grown adult when I met him, and B, I chose to leave school. He didn't force me. I guess Kim likes to think of herself as a hardcore feminist, but it's hard to label her when she's the biggest pick-me girl I've ever met with an obsession of control. She blames her autism for always needing to nitpick everything. James is also autistic, and he never pulls any of that BS. All he does is miss social cues and can get upset over certain sensory issues. Anyways, later that day I helped my mother in the kitchen to prepare for Christmas dinner while everyone else relaxed in the living room. As usual, Kim made a big deal out of refusing to do kitchen work because it's not supposed to be a woman's thing only. Things seemed to be going relatively okay until I heard James sternly shout, "What the F? What are you doing, Kim? Take that off, it's not yours." Immediately, a feeling of dread came over me and I dropped what I was doing to rush over to the room. Kim was twirling around in an ivory evening gown, and the same ivory evening gown that was gifted to me, and the same ivory evening gown that was at 3 sizes too small for her. Already, I could see the significant damage. Sections were stretched, and the zipper was stuck midway. Even worse, the waist belt sat too high in her torso, and her boobs were squishing it under. I didn't understand how she was moving around without feeling pain because it looked so uncomfortable. But maybe she was feeling pain because she suddenly bent over and fell against the table, spinning James' drink on her. on herself in the ivory evening gown. I was paralyzed. My dress was completely ruined, and I literally had it for only a few hours. What happened next was kind of hazy, because I was still in shock. Kim got up and went to clean up and change back into her clothes before coming out and shoving the ruined gown in my hands. James immediately said that we were leaving and led me out of the house without saying goodbye or taking our presents with us. I started crying in the car, and he did his best to console me while he was driving. When we got home, I laid the gown on the dining room table to inspect the damage. As suspected, the material was stretched out and stained with wine. There was also some tears, and the zipper was definitely broken. I asked James, what do I do? And he said to demand that Kim buy me a new dress out of her pocket. I thought that seemed reasonable, but Dad reached out to me after that night and apologized for what had happened, saying he didn't expect Kim's autism to spiral out of control like that. He then went to say that he would order the same dress for me. I thought that was the end of it, but he said he had one more thing to say. I know it was a bit of a chaotic situation, but it was rather rude of you and James to leave without saying goodbye. Your mother and I missed your company. I'm sorry, I said softly. But upon hearing me say that, James snatched the phone from me. Excuse me? ? Why did I just hear Marilyn apologize when she is the victim here? I presumably heard Dad explain the rudeness of our departure and shook his head. No. It was rude of you and your wife to let that fat B-word get away with all the as she does. No, I don't care that you're giving her a new dress. Kim needs to be punished here. Kim needs to pay for her actions. You hear me? Oh, now you get this all fixed up and hunky-dory before New Year's Eve, or else we're not coming. I honestly wish he didn't say that, because the rest of the night was filled with my family members blowing up my phone and with texts saying that I was rude to my parents and mean to my sister. Some even criticized James for being controlling. Am I the a-hole? The comment reads, stop making excuses for her. She is just a B-word. A jealous one at that, which is why she stole your dress. James is right. Stop apologizing. Kim is insufferable. You're well within your rights to demand a new dress from each of them. Having autism with no boundaries is a recipe for serious emotional immaturity. Wow, that's actually crazy. Am I overreacting? My boyfriend gets calls from himself? ? My boyfriend just told me he gets calls every morning from himself. He gets them at 5 in the morning, so I'm not around to verify this. He said he talks to himself on the phone for a long time, and that he has helped him improve himself. Improve his self-confidence, his discipline, etc. I thought he was joking at first, but he is adamant. He says it's normal for him, that it's part of his life, that he helped him improve. He said it's normal for him. He knows it's not usual, but he decided to overlook the unusual part because only positive changes have been made. I know talking to yourself might be normal, but I'm sure being convinced that you are being called at 5 a.m. every day by yourself is not normal. I want him to see a professional. He doesn't. I don't think I can stay in a relationship without him seeing a psychiatrist. I don't know if I'm saying that word right. We ended up having a big fight, and when I brought up ending the relationship, he pleaded not to. Why can't you understand this is normal to me? I have become a better person. Am I overreacting? One of the comments says, did you look at the call history? I feel like that would be the first thing I do. And I guess she hadn't. There is an update though. Update. I think editing this post is an update, but I'm not sure. Oh, okay. So, I stayed over last night, woke up at 4:45, and both of us sat quietly in the living room for a good 20 minutes, waiting for his phone set down on the coffee table. In my head, I was expecting an alarm to ring, but no, we waited and waited. My boyfriend started crying, and he said he was really expecting a phone call, that I won't believe him now. He said he doesn't understand why he, quote-unquote he, didn't call him today. I tried to hold back my tears as I consoled him. We had a long and heavy conversation, but it is important that even though he is scared, he would like to talk to a doctor. For those asking if I checked his call logs, he did receive calls early morning, but they were from his own home telephone. I double-checked the numbers and times, and duration of the phone calls would range from 2 minutes to 5 minutes, rather than the ones he describes as 30 to 45-minute conversations. As those pestering me in my DMs, I know I overreacted, and I can't put in the words how sorry I am that I made my boyfriend feel that way. Aww. That's kind of sad, actually. I hope he gets help. Am I overreacting for saying BRB, but leaving and blocking this guy? I don't know if I'm overreacting. I'm sure you'll let me know. I was saying this guy, the first few times we hung out, we were at my house, and then we went to the few bars. But lately, he only wants to hang out at his house. I'm not a homebody. The only reason we hung out at my house was because I live on the lake, so we can go boating. So I expressed to him on 2 different times that I don't like how he only wants me to come over and we never go out anymore. So, quote unquote, you can't really like me. He was dismissive but consistent, LMAO. Always texting and calling to invite me over. So I finally went to his house again, and he was like, I'm gonna make you dinner. I very rarely eat meat, but love seafood. So he said he was going to make a vegetarian dish, and I was like, great. He was quote unquote joking and said that he had some fish he could make, but I quote unquote don't deserve all of that. At this point, we're sipping wine, so I'm tipsy, and I'm just thinking, like, when am I gonna leave here? I'm not gonna speak to this mother effer again. Anyways, so his phone rings, and he answers. It's a girl. He's telling her how he'll be in the city tomorrow, and that they should go to lunch, and I was instantly offended, because he never takes me out anymore, and when we do, I'm always initiating the plans. So I walk out of his bedroom, kind of to make my presence known that this mother E tells me to shush. So I walk out the bedroom, kind of make my presence known, so she literally just walked out the door. She didn't even say anything, and he tells her to shush. She was like damn, like let me just head out, LOL. Then he's whispering and asked me where I'm going, and I'm embarrassed. So I just tell him, I'm going to the car to get my glasses. I'll be right back. And then blocked him and went back home. Update. He added me on Snapchat and was like, you ready to come home? So effing quirky. What the hell? Then I blocked him there too. That is actually crazy. The reason he will have insisted on going to your place or to his is so the other woman he's in contact with doesn't see him out socializing with other women. You saw the red flag and acted accordingly. That is actually insane. Oh, that was a bus. Am I overreacting? Boyfriend keeps ex's toiletries and told me I'm bad at sex. My boyfriend of 3 months hasn't thrown away his ex's toiletries for his ex from a year ago. I was at his house and forgot mine, and he opened one of the main drawers in the bathroom, and there was her toothbrush, hairbrush, deodorant, face wash, face cream, etc. He said I could use it. Not to mention her face wash and other things were still in the shower. I was baffled that he would want me to smell like her. Is that weird? She said that. He also brought up body count, and mine is higher than his. He said, quote unquote, how can after that many people you're still bad at sex? I was still taken aback. I asked, how? And he said because I was quiet and don't communicate enough. He also told me he wished I had blonde hair. Ooh. Are these red flags? Am I crazy to have some hurt feelings? He also talked about the crazy hot graph for girls, and it seems like he was saying that I was crazy but just not hot enough. Someone said, is this a serious comment? Is this a serious question? Someone said, not reacting enough. End it. He threw the bad at sex comment in your face because he's mad your number is higher than his. He can't be superior in numbers, quote unquote, like a man should. So he had to find a way to make himself feel more than. Her stuff is there because he either still wants her or because she still stops by for an occasional backslide. If he's doing this at 3 months, by 6, he will be worse. Not a reaction girl. Get someone better. Facts. You are underreacting. The toiletries can be anyone's. He is either lazy or clueless or both. Do not let him disrespect you like that. Leave him ASAP. He's working on taking any self-esteem you have and left you so he can control you. Leave. Oh, I hope she's okay now. Am I overreacting? My boyfriend has forgotten my birthday every year. So my birthday is today. My boyfriend has memory issues as a result of chemo radiation he had 6 years ago. He's forgotten my birthday 5 years in a row. The first year I completely understood. The next couple of years it stung, but I still but I tried not to let it get to me. Last year, I made his phone password my birthday, 12/22. So he wouldn't forget it, and of course, last year he forgets. I was pissed. He told me he knew that what day my birthday was. He just didn't realize what day it was because he wasn't working at that time. Well, lo and behold, this year comes around and no happy birthday for me. My birthday is his passcode. He also works today. He has to have seen what day it is. I messaged him asking what he's up to. What do I do? Do I just accept that this man will never wish me happy birthday? Do I get angry with him? Do I break it up with him over him not wishing me happy birthday? I'm already having a bad day, so maybe I'm overreacting. Aw. Happy birthday. Someone said not overreaction. I'm terrible at remembering birthdays. And you know what? I have everyone's birthday set in my Google Calendar, set to repeat every year. It's not hard to make an effort to remember important dates. This is his fault. You have every right to be pissed off. So I do agree. I do think, she gave 5 years to allow him and even tried to make, she made his password, which shows to me that it's important to her. And if it's important to her, it should be important to him. Making excuses rather than trying, And so hopefully next year she'll get what she wants. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Did you think any of them were overreacting or underreacting? Let me know in the comments. Thank you. Bye bye.